Hello everyone and welcome to another royal reading. I am back from my few days away in Cape Town and back at home, back of course to the news headlines that Harry has had his ER taken off his uniform, very upset. Harry upset is just about every second headline that I'm seeing, upset about something. It's very clear that Prince William did not want to travel with him in a car, and equally that Catherine did not want to travel with Meghan in a car. So they're really being iced out, the Harkles, quite publicly, even though a lot of people are very concerned that King Charles is going to roll over and submit and surrender to their insistent demands. Seemingly not, because of course tonight is the huge reception for all the dignitaries, the politicians, the leaders, the royals who have flown into the UK, and of course people from the UK as well, but people from around the world, very, very, very high up, high status people who have flown in for the funeral tomorrow of Queen Elizabeth. And the Harkles, if they ever were invited, and that is open to debate, have been disinvited. So their little PR game, trying to get a nod to this very prestigious event, very significant event. It's going to be remembered in history. Their games that they have been playing, in my opinion, have failed, and by all accounts they will not be there this evening. Of course, they may just roll up anyway, so we'll wait and see what happens. But this is the story, and this is what I'm going to be looking at with just the ordinary Rider-Waite. I'm going to do a Celtic cross. I'm going to see it. I'm going to read it from the Harkle point of view, Harry and Meghan's point of view, how they're feeling. There was an article in the Telegraph newspaper today that half in and half out for Harry and Meghan, they are discovering means out, entirely out, when it comes to events like this, state events, high profile events, possibly because other dignitaries don't want to have to mingle with the Harkles and fear that what they say in the privacy of such events might be repeated on Oprah or in Meghan's book or in Harry's book or whatever. So there are all kinds of concerns around this. But we're going to look at it, do a Celtic cross, see how they're feeling, see possible reasons why they might not have been welcome, who decided that they were not welcome, what role Omid Scobie is playing in all of this, and the outcome. Are they going to get on a plane in high dudgeon after the funeral tomorrow and disappear back to Montecito? How they each feel individually, and the impact that this is going to have ultimately for their brand, because it's looking bad for their brand. Their brand is pretty toxic right now if they're being cut out of events like this, not welcome. And of course Meghan's political aspirations, this is a perfect opportunity for her to schmooze with high level politicians of her own country, the United States, and of course other important countries for her. Not meaning that there are unimportant countries in the world, but for her purposes. Let's remind you, as I set down the cards for this Celtic cross that I have tweaked, as usual, as I always tweak these Celtic cross readings, that this is a tarot reading for entertainment purposes or just my opinion, and or for entertainment or speculation. Please, there is a disclaimer in the box below, and please do your own research, form your own opinions, and you can decide yourselves how Harry and Meghan might be feeling right now in London. And this card popped out in the shuffling that I was doing. I noticed it and it came out. Splitsville, Two of Cups in reverse. This is the underlying energy. Very interesting, because my questions that I have written down, and I always write down, I always meditate, I always think about it. I write the questions down to be as specific and as clear as possible to universe, for universe. Not only for their brand, the outcome of this incident, this snub, this icing out, also for their marriage. And we have a split card, the Two of Cups in reverse, a breakup card. So one of the classic breakup cards. This little happy couple is separating as the underlying energy. There are rumors. I've looked at it. I'll look at it again. There's another round of rumors going around that there is a big split happening, divorce proceedings, lawyered up, all the rest of it. There is energy of that in this reading as the underlying energy. Of course, also can be a separation between them and the royals. But to me, this is more personal. This is more intimate. This is Harry and Meghan in difficulty, their relationship, their marriage, potentially not surviving this level of insult, humiliation, icing out, and failure of the brand. I just have to do a dog door keeping. And I'm back. Overexcited dogs because Mummy's back after a few days away. But anyway, that was Tess. And the heart of this matter, the heart of this reading, the situation for the Harkles, Harry and Meghan. Tonight, while the world gathers, ouch, Ten of Swords. It's in reverse. Ten of Swords is a card of ruin. Rock bottom, hitting rock bottom, realizing you're done, you're finished. They are getting a big wake-up call about the value of their brand, the value of themselves without the royal cachet, without being able to wear ER on your uniform, without being invited to things like this. They are nobody, they are down and out. The card is in the reverse, in my opinion. In this reading, the reversed card means that they have hit maximum rock bottom. They are destroyed. And that was basically the gist of the article that I'm really referencing in this reading in the Telegraph today, that a half in, half out means well and truly out when it comes to big events like this. It's absolutely clear. So difficulties that the Harkles are facing, why possibly they were disinvited or not welcome, difficulties with themselves. Eight of Pentacles is the work card. It can read this at various levels. The first of all, that they view this as opportunity for work, for money, to make connections, to make deals, that they're not coming to the occasion with the right attitude, the right motivation. And that is what's in your heart when you do something, when you present yourself somewhere and you take something on. It is what is in your heart, what is driving you to do something. And this card tells me that what is driving them is money and money-making opportunities. It's the Lion King premiere all over again, dumping the Marines so that Harry could dress up and go with Meghan equally tarted up in that very ill-fitting sausage casing dress to go and tout for business with Disney instead of honouring his country and fallen servicemen. And same energy but on steroids. That the feeling is that they're just viewing this as a networking opportunity. They're not coming to it with the right level of humility, grief, decency. It's a schmoozing opportunity. Who can they sidle up to and try and get on side with? So that is what's going on. That's the challenge. That is why they were not welcome there. And it seems that the message that they were not welcome was coming from people other than the royals and the British royals. It was coming from other dignitaries saying, we're concerned, allegedly, let's throw in allegedly there. And allegedly is all over this reading and in the disclaimer in the box below. This is the concern that people were expressing to the British royal family, to King Charles. We are not comfortable with the grifters in our midst at an occasion like this. They don't know how to behave. We can't trust them. Wow. So this card is the hidden energy behind the scenes, this sort of down and dirty card. Down below energy is who. That's the little tag that I have for this particular card in this Celtic cross. Don't worry if you're learning tarot and you think, that's not normally how I read a Celtic cross. I tweak them for my own particular purposes with these royal readings, and I make it very clear what I want to know with each card. And good advice for you if you are learning and you also want to do that. So what is going on behind the scenes? Who was the one that said nope? What does universe want to tell us? Eight of Swords, that is the trapped energy. It's not coming up as a particular person, although swords are air signs. It's quite interesting because it's a female figure, and I'm almost getting the energy that it was a woman that said, I just can't. I can't have them around. But of course, it's a state occasion, so it would be more than that. But somebody who just feels that if the Harkles are there, they are stuck, they are tormented, they are tortured. I'm getting a Princess of Wales energy off this card. She's not an air sign woman, but she's the one bound and tormented and trapped by Harry and Meghan, put in a very difficult position. That it could be at some level a desire almost to protect her from intrusion, but it's an interesting energy coming off this card, because more than that, this woman in this Rider-Waite card, the Eight of Swords, is very vulnerable. She's blindfolded. She's very intent. She has the posture of the royals at those vigils. We saw the Princess Vigil and then the grandchildren's vigil. Head bowed, very focused, very concentrated. They're not telling me who so much as why. There is grief here. They're very focused on this moment that they are stuck in. It's not the right word. It's a moment in time that they have to honor, they have to observe, they have to stand there. They have to stand there in the public gaze. Very difficult for a 14-year-old boy to go and do that. While the public trooped past very intimately, very close to them. They were very exposed, very vulnerable in their grief. And it is, we don't want these two grifters coming and trying to do business deals while we are actually grieving. And we don't want them around. We don't want them around while we are vulnerable, while we are doing this. One in particular, Catherine, comes to mind, but it's the whole family. The whole family is grieving. And they just don't feel safe around Harry and Meghan. So it might have been a William kind of a decision that absolutely not. I'm not having my vulnerable wife, and she's apparently taking it very hard, Catherine. I'm not having her exposed to Meghan while she is grieving and vulnerable. But there are other people. There are other people who are vulnerable and grieving, and we just don't want her around. She doesn't belong here. A very specific energy coming off the Eight of Swords that would not normally come off that card in a normal reading. The focus, and we're back to the Harkles and their focus with all this PR stuff, the spin that Omid Scobie is doing. It's particularly about Omid Scobie. I want to know what their goal is, what their focus is with that. What are they up to through him? We know Sunshine Sachs no longer involved with them, so it's very direct now. Allegedly, I'm speculating for entertainment purposes, the connection between Harry and Meghan, and particularly allegedly Meghan and Omid Scobie. They go back a long way. It's documented, and he seems to be the outlet that they are using at the moment to try and push things, to try and push agendas, to try and guilt trip perhaps. What's going on there? What do you want to tell us? That is the Four of Wands. Pushing out a message about Harry and Meghan being the ideal couple, the perfect couple, about that they should be involved. This card always for me is a royal family card, the Four of Wands. It is about palaces and castles and homes, and Buckingham Palace in this case. And it's not a celebration. The Four of Wands traditionally is about celebrations, weddings, parties, celebrating something that you have achieved, an accomplishment. But it's about foundations, it's about the firm, and there is a big event going on there. So a celebration, in inverted commas, a celebration of the Queen's life, for sure. That's what they're all gathered there. They're all gathered there to honour her. And the message is being put out that Harry and Meghan are fundamental to this royal family, that they belong there, they are part of this firm, part of this foundation. Fours are about foundations, about stability, cornerstones, that they are an essential element of the royal family. And the royal family has pushed back with this Ten of Swords and said, you're not welcome, you're not wanted. We want to grieve in private. We don't want to be spied on and stalked and made to feel vulnerable while you are around trying to make deals and trying to make money out of this situation. Their expectation, the past energy, lead up to tonight, their expectation. Their expectation is the Five of Swords in reverse. Their expectation, various interpretations of this card. First of all, that they could fight their way in. They could battle their way in. With the Five of Swords, it's a very hostile card. It's a very aggressive card. It is destroying people with aggro. Sort of beating them down with cold words, with PR, with spin, with aggression in the media, hostile attacks in the media, wearing them down, defeating them, even though the card is in reverse, extra energy of that. But also just mild energy for me as an energy reader, that they were prepared to put hostilities aside just temporarily, a truce, so that they could be included in this inverted commas celebration, event, function, reception. That reception is the word that they are using officially. So we call it truce for our own purposes, to serve our own ends, and but really we are wearing you down with hostile PR, with attacking pieces in American newspapers, TV shows, not just American, also local British ones. Very interesting that there's this agenda going on behind the scenes. We call it truce, but really we are all out in our attacks. How are they going to be feeling after this, the aftermath, the immediate aftermath of it? Are they going to get on a plane and go home? Are they going to flee the scene because they are humiliated and angry? Well, it's a big deal, this, for them. It's the Fool in reverse. Very humiliated. The Fool in reverse is looking foolish. It's the leaping without looking card, the Fool. Optimism, enthusiasm, off on a brave new adventure, not really taking any precautions, trusting that the universe will provide, and off you go, tra-la-la, with a song on your lips. And carefree and optimistic in reverse. You know that you've run out of luck. You know that what you've done has been foolish. Somebody in the hardcore camp is going to know, as a consequence of this being iced out of this event and never invited or disinvited, they're going to know that they have made a big boo-boo of the situation. They have messed up spectacularly. They have been reckless. They have not thought things through. They have jumped in with both feet into situations. They have said things they can't unsay. They have made threats that they can't take back. They have books waiting at the printers. They have podcasts waiting for Spotify to upload them. They have other interviews possibly lying around. They have messed up spectacularly and very publicly. It's possible with that card, the Fool in reverse, that it's going to be too humiliating for them to stick around and appear in public and appear at any form of function in future, that they could well disappear humiliated. That's the primary energy that's coming off that card, the Fool in reverse. Humiliation, public humiliation. And just by the way, this card tells me, this Eight of Swords tells me that's possible, because it's what's going on behind the scenes and who and why they were not invited or disinvited. It's telling me that possibly they were invited, and then trust issues came up that said, no, we can't trust you. Not in our grief, not in our vulnerability, we can't trust you. There was that photo that was taken of the royals in Buckingham Palace, Meghan and Harry walking behind King Charles. It was very intrusive. It was quickly taken down by the British press, allegedly being investigated. Things like that I think turned the tide against Harry and Meghan, and that they may now live to regret. They may realise that they have been epically stupid in the way that they have handled this situation. Epically stupid. So individually, how's it going for Harry? How's Harry feeling about this? He's very angry. The Temperance card in reverse, he's extremely angry. And as I said at the start of this reading, all the headlines, well, every second headline is about how indignant Harry is about some insults that he has suffered. It's not about his grief, it's not about his heartache, it's not about his regret, wished he'd spent more time with his grandmother in the past few years. It's about his injury to his ego. And that's the Temperance card in reverse. It's intemperate, it's ill-considered, it's angry, it is causing trouble. The Temperance card upright. You pour oil on troubled waters. You try and calm things down, smooth things over. You try and heal situations, bring harmony back to situations. Note the crown there in the card, and the angel, and the wings. And it's somebody who really almost has passed over and become an angel, a guardian angel. In the reverse, disrespecting that person. My opinion, again, this is all my opinion for entertainment purposes, but also causing trouble, making trouble, epic amounts of trouble, because it's major arcana. He's behaving like a brat, spoilt brat, tossing his toys and just having tantrum after tantrum after tantrum. He seems not able to control his temper. It does seem to be a problem with the Windsors, apparently, going back. They all seem to have, the men in the family anyway, seem to have issues with temper, but also the Spencers. So bad DNA in there. As he would call it, genetic pain. I'm going to get the giggles. And it's not appropriate to get the giggles in this reading. So how does she feel, the wife? How is she feeling tonight about this humiliation? It's not going to stop her. As I say, it could be that there is going to be a car that arrives outside Buckingham Palace, and she is going to emerge from it in her black, and just try and force her way in, because the Chariot is all about ambition, political ambition. It's all about drive. It's all about being insistent, relentless, obsessed with your goal, regardless of what's going on. It's major arcana. It's Prince William card as well. It's the Cancerian card, major arcana card. She could just roll in. I wouldn't put it past her with this card. I would not put it past her to just show up and shove her way in. It reminds me of that spoof comedy series, The Windsors, where poor old Fergie, who had been banished from all royal events, would find her way in. The daughters were forever having to smuggle her in, or if they refused, she would manage to smuggle herself in to receptions at Buckingham Palace and sort of leap out of the cake or whatever. Here I am, surprise. Very dangerous energy from this Chariot card, because it's so obsessed, so driven, so insistent, so relentless. She may yet just do something very provocative and try and push her luck. Their hopes and fears, Harry and Meghan, right now, for what's going on. They're hoping that they can salvage something from this. They're hoping that someone makes a different choice. The Lovers is about choices. That there is a different choice made. As I say, turn up and try your luck. Hoping that they can bamboozle their way in. Hoping that they can persuade somebody to let them in. Change their minds at the last minute. The choice is about decisions. And it's about the pair of them. Let us in. Let us back into the Garden of Eden. We belong in the Garden of Eden. We belong in the palace. We belong with all those important people. Don't kick us out. That's what they're hoping. They are hoping. The rain is absolutely bucketing down suddenly as I'm doing this reading. And very exciting for us if it does rain enough to force open our little lagoon here where we live. And all the lagoons along this coastline are very full of stagnant water from the winter rains. They just need a little bit extra to open up and flush out. So we're all hoping all the way along. They are just small lagoons all the way along this coast, but it is important that they get flushed out before summer comes. So that's an aside. I'm shouting over the rain. Final card. Ultimate outcome for Harry and Meghan of the snub, this being iced out for their brand, for their marriage, for them as a couple. We have the Two of Cups in reverse as the underlying energy. What is it going to do? It's going to stop them in their tracks. And I'm so happy to see the Eight of Wands in reverse. absolutely ecstatic. It is going to stop the PR, the spin that Omid has been pumping out, allegedly, from Meghan. It is going to stop it. It's going to stop their progress. It's going to stop their enthusiasm, their narrative, their tricks, their PR game. All of it is going to come to a grinding halt with that Eight of Wands in reverse. It is going to silence them. It's going to stop them. Couldn't see a better card there. They're going to be humiliated. They're going to look foolish. They might try their luck, or she might try her luck. She might try and do something. Wouldn't put it past her. Very, very hopeful that she can achieve something still with this brand and with this the two little lovebirds whole thing that she's got going. But they're going to be stopped. And it looks like for all the doubt and the concern about how King Charles and William, also Prince William, were playing the game, playing the hand, dealing with Harry and Meghan, it looks like they have gotten them boxed in. It looks like they have. They are able to contain them and to stop them and to silence them, which is very good news. It's very good news for the royal family. It's very good news, in my opinion, for the British public. It's very good news for all right-thinking people who do their duty and show up when they're expected to show up and do the honourable thing and grieve and stop trying to make deals and moments like this. This is the card that tells the story, the Ten of Swords, ruin. A little bit of a fight back, but temper tantrum from him, attempt to fight back from her, but stopped. That's the reading, and thoughts and prayers with everyone tomorrow during the funeral. If I feel like it, I'll come on tomorrow afternoon, evening, and do a reading. Depends on the mood. It depends what happens. It depends if anything ghastly happens or anything amazing happens. That will determine whether I come on and do a reading or not. Otherwise, silence, watching, praying, meditating, quiet. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon.